Yeah. Underrated, we the underdogs, underestimated.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Totem Podcast. Today we got a special guest for you guys. It's Erick. We got Erick on, but we got another guest for you guys. Special guest. I'll introduce him here in a little bit. I want to start you guys off with a little quote. I prepare so no one can take what is mine. No one can replace my mind, my heart. Ray Lewis. George Perea, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, dude. Thanks for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Pretty good, man. It's been a while since we've been in close contact with each other since high school, pretty much.
It has. I mean, last time I saw you, you were helping me out with the video.
Yeah, we've done a little bit of stuff, but feels like it's been a while.
It has. I mean, everyone just spreads out after high school, and everyone's just doing their own thing.
Pretty much, huh? What have you been up to?
So I just kind of been. I went to college after high school. I was trying to become a pilot, but
Trying to,
but then it didn't really work out. I guess kind of lost motivation. I guess we'll get into that if you want to. But and then after that, I started doing like a business, like a rapping business, and that's what I'm doing right now. And so far it's going pretty good. I kind of like how it's going. I'm not trying to rush into things, but slowly but surely, I'm getting it done. And it's just so many forms, dude. Like trying to make a business,
like official business.
Official business it's hard, dude. Like I never thought it was like this hard to create and But I'm liking it, dude. It's it's a struggle, it's a grind. But with anything else, it's just learning as you go.
Just putting the work into it. Yeah.
Are you doing that full time? Or you got other stuff kind of good?
No, right now I'm full time at the power plant. I work at Savage Services.
Okay, cool.
And on my days off, I come and do side jobs here and there.
So the side hustle.
Yeah. So let's side hustle. It's cool because I have 4 days on, 4 days off.
Okay,
so I have 4 days to do whatever I need to do. But
it's part-time until you can get it.
Yeah, eventually I do want to do full time, but not just raps, not just car raps, tinning, maybe PDR, paintless dent repair. But that's in the future. I'm still trying to get car raps up and going, get that,
Just pretty much make the cars look, pretty much all the detailing of stuff,
yeah,
all that stuff.
The visual aspects to it.
Yeah. So a lot of jobs that I've done have been small jobs. I've done a few full car, full wraps, but it's mostly just been small jobs here and there. So, which is good because that's how I learn, and then I'll get better and actually start promoting it more, and we'll see where it goes. I'm trying to do a Facebook page, just
to put your work out there and stuff.
Yeah, and then I think eventually I'm thinking it will kind of pop off more and
start getting going.
Just kind of get some traction and stuff. Yeah, I get you.
So that's what I'm doing right now. We'll see when. I'm not trying to rush it. Like I said, everything I'll just take my time.
Everything will fall in its place when it's time.
Yeah, if it's not the right time, then no need to try and force it in.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not. Because I'm still learning. I think that's my biggest obstacle is it's just a learning curve. And there's one day oh yeah, I'm so good at this. Things are I'm getting faster, and then some other days I'm why am I not getting this, or why isn't it coming out how I want it? And I think that's the biggest reason why I'm just take your time.
It's just about with anything in life, no? You kind of start getting on a good little flow, getting some good stuff, and then you just hit a bump in the road, and you're just God, fuck.
Yeah. No, and there's a lot of bumps. Just with anything, what's starting a business. I've learned there's a lot of bumps, and people quit when they hit the first one, and they're it's getting too hard, and then but with me, when I start something, I just want to finish it or want to see it through.
Yeah, that's what kind of it's good. It's good for you to do that. It's kind of what separates the people that are going to be great in what they do, and then the people that are they're just doing it for sometimes they're just doing it for just to make a quick buck, you know, or something, you know. That's what separates you, you know. It's something you want to do, so you're gonna keep learning and getting better at it.
Yeah.
Especially like the pandemic and shit, like with like the stimulus checks, people were like, take that stimulus check, turn it into an LLC and shit.
Oh yeah.
And all the Facebook posts, they make it like sound easy.
Yeah, they make it
then
sound
you
so
actually
easy.
go into it and you're like, God damn, this shit's not fucking easy.
Yeah. Or like you see posts on Facebook like, oh, you could do this and this and this, and like
Those are those are like the scammers. Like, oh, look, click on my video and I'll teach you how to do this.
Yeah.
This.
Oh, dude,
It's
I hate those videos, dude. I hate
Like
them.
if you're making money off of trying to show somebody else how to make money, like that's not like it's not a real business.
They're the ones making the money. You're like just by watching their video. But
there you go.
I mean, in some, I don't know, might help you, but for the majority, they're just trying to get their money. Like, I've never tried any of those videos. Maybe someone has and it worked out for them, but I don't really believe in it.
The best thing I've had is YouTube University.
YouTube University.
I learned a lot of stuff on that.
Yeah,
Dude, anything I want to get better at, I go to YouTube. Anything. And like, I'm so like competitive that like, whatever it might be, like, cause I got into poker like here like recently, and we were doing like poker nights like at a friend's house or whatever, and we just playing poker. And I hate losing, dude. Like I just hate losing.
Like I'm a fucking look up some videos and kick your guys' asses.
So like it was like the night before I stayed up like maybe like 4 or 5 hours just looking up videos. I'm like, okay, like, and I did learn like a few things. I actually learned quite a bit. And the next night we had that poker night, and I'm all here trying like the strategies and all that, and they worked. Like they did work. And then I think there was a few nights I did win pretty big, and I was like, oh yeah, like I'm good. And then like I just felt like no one could beat me, right? And then I go to like a casino.
Got fucking
swept. Oh dude, it was bad, dude.
The casino is made to make you lose. The casino.
Yeah, no, it was because I was playing with other people, right? And I mean, these guys.
There's some people that are good though. Huh?
Dude, they people live for this. Like, the people just go out there and like play poker and like, make a living off of it. I'm like that I.
What kind of poker players did you deal with? Like, were they like the bluffer kinds, or they actually had a good game and they would just beat, or what kind?
I guess they knew how to play the hand, because like every hand's different. So you could bluff them, or you could like either pretend like you don't have something good, and then like someone else goes all in. Like it's weird, dude. Poker's a fun game. Like if you know like how to play and like all the strategies and like what like everything you could do with it, it's really a fun game. But it's hard. Like at first I thought it was just all luck. And it's not, dude. It's mainly skill and a little bit of luck. I'm not gonna lie. Like
that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, because you don't know what cards you're getting. You just get random cards.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like, I guess it's kind of like you can metaphor it to like life. You get the random cards, and you have to whoever plays their cards better.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can have a better deck. You can have better hand than somebody else, but somebody else knows how to play their hand better than you,
exactly.
and they just beat you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it is like life, dude. Like, you just gotta deal with your cards and hope for the best. But yeah, dude, that's how competitive I am. Like, I'll watch videos on YouTube and on anything. Like, and then I mean, it usually helps out.
Do you think that's good or bad that you're competitive?
Oh, dude, it's good. I mean, like, I feel like if someone's competitive, they're trying to prove something, or they're trying to get somewhere, a goal, and they set up a goal and they try to accomplish it.
Like they're not like content with like where they are.
Yeah,
they want to like keep striving to go.
Exactly. Yeah. So something. With me, like,
do you think the ego kind of plays part in it a little bit? Like, I want to make sure that guy knows I beat him, or is it just you trying to better yourself?
Nah, it's me bettering myself. Like if I get into something and I can see myself getting better at it, then that's the satisfaction I take from it. Me like beating someone, or me like showing it off, like I'm not really that kind of guy. If they're the ones like like being a sore winner in a sense, and I beat them, like I might like rub it in a little bit, but even then, like I'm not that type of person.
It takes a lot, because there's a lot of people, like including me, like not so long ago, like I'd want people to know that I was better than them.
Okay.
Because like I was like in college and stuff, and like we're all doing like films and stuff, like I want you to know that I can fucking beat you.
Yeah.
The thing I don't personally, I don't think that's bad, because that's what makes I guess you can kind of go, makes the society better. Because if say like you have like Elon, he knows, he wants to show you he's better. So if you have those kind of people there, you need the inventors, the people that are developing new stuff, you know, coming out. You need kind of the competitiveness, but their competitive, theirs is more monetized. You know? It's not just like their pride. It's like they want to make money with it too, you know.
Yeah. See, but the thing I don't know, the way I see it, like maybe like Elon, like with that example, I don't think he's focused on like his competition. I think he's just focused on himself, and then like in the way or in the process he beats his like these other people, then he beats these other people. Like I don't think he's focused on like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna go do this
better than like Boeing or whatever.
I'm gonna go do this. Yeah, like I'm gonna go do this to like beat this person, or you know, like I don't think people like that are focused on their competition. You know what I mean? Like
you don't think Bezos is kind of like, I want to be better than Elon? He just started his other company.
See, I don't know.
Trying to get in his industry.
Yeah.
But then I see what you say too. You know, they're just focused on their stuff. Yeah. And they're going.
I feel because like Elon's just like so far ahead of everybody else. He's just like, if you guys want to catch up, you can. But I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. And like Bezos and stuff, like he's trying to catch up. So he's like, I want to be better than him. And then once like he passes them or whatever, then
who knows?
It might shift.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, one never really knows. They might be all in competition, and they might all be like just grinding just to.
Maybe they don't even care, huh?
They probably don't even care.
We're over here talking about what they want. No, but yeah, that competitive is, I think, what makes just people better. You know.
Yeah.
Because if someone's better, you know, for a job, you're being competitive because you want to get a better job, you know, and stuff like that, better pay.
Yeah, I mean, that is a society we live in. Everything's competition. Everything is be better than the person next to you, or, you know, be stand out as much as you can. But with me, like I think with me, it's just myself, like just better myself, and, you know, don't worry about anyone else. I feel like a lot of that goes with the, like, jealousy and like envy, like, you know, like.
Okay.
You know, like,
I know what you mean.
A little bit, yeah.
Because like with like when you're envious of someone, you rather like see them.
You don't want to see them do better than you.
No.
I guess.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
So you want to be.
Yeah, so you want like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna take them down.
And that's kind of like keeping up with the Joneses. He got a new car, or he got something better. Like, I want to go get something better, you know. Yeah. And that's the day.
Or no, yeah, or like, see, I feel like that's jealousy and being envious of someone is like two different things. There's like a fine line between, but like saying like jealousy is like, oh, he has a nice truck, I'm gonna work harder to get a truck like that.
I'm gonna bust my ass off to be able to afford this.
See, and like
this
that
truck
kind of jealousy is all right, but like when you're envious of someone, like this is my perspective. When you're envious of someone, you're like, oh, they have a nice truck. I hope he crashes it next week. You know, like I hope he like that truck doesn't run the next morning, or I hope he gets a flat tire, or you know,
you're putting pretty much bad on him because you can't get to that level.
Yeah,
yeah.
Kind of,
you know?
Or it's also just like saying like, oh, I bet he just fucking stole it from someone else
See,
or
like,
some shit because he can't afford
and
that.
That's kind of the Hispanic thing, like, oh, the seguro's narco.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, the vende droga al way, you know, that truck he has. It's like, fuck, dude, just let somebody, you know, like they grinded to get the stuff, you know, just take the credit for their hard work.
Yeah, give them credit to what they want in life. Yeah.
Well, let's take a step back, because you said like out of high school you said you wanted to like be a pilot and stuff. Like I don't know, like what got you like into that?
Coming out of
like, did you want to be like a commercial pilot or just like
I did. Yeah,
private?
I did. I wanted to be a commercial pilot. But this decision kind of came about my junior year of high school. Because junior year, senior year, they ask you, oh, what do you want to do? What do you...
The most annoying question.
I know.
That's how they want you at 17 years old to be like, I want to do this for the next 50 years of my life. It's like...
they give us so much credit to like decided with something and go with it. Like, because we're not even sure. We're not sure who we are yet. We don't know who we truly are.
100%.
And I feel like that was my problem. So junior year, senior year, I had to make a decision. And I like business. I remember I was in entrepreneurship like my junior and senior year. And I liked that class. I mean, anything business related, I liked. And that class really like got my foot in like into the door and helped me out. And I told my parents, I told my family, like, oh yeah, like I want to create a business, or I want to go to college to be, like an entrepreneur. And they're like, oh, okay, like you don't want to be like a lawyer or a doctor? And I'm like, like, well, like no, not really. Well, they didn't really say lawyer, doctor. They just, I could sense that from them. I mean, like, you don't want to be something better, like you don't want to be like.
That's the thing. People kind of frown upon like entrepreneurs.
Yeah, yeah, because like
it's messed up, but it's kind of the reality.
Like that's how I took it, and that's like that's my perspective. I don't know if my family's ever gonna see this. I'm like, no, like, but and then I told them, and then like later on that year, or whatever year it was, I told them about, oh, I want to become a pilot, but I wanted to get into the Air Force. And they're like, oh, like their face lit up, and like, oh, like that's pretty cool. Like, and then like they started asking me more about it. I'm like, oh, like they're interested, like I feel like they're more into me becoming a pilot. And then my parents were like, they'll have friends over and they'll be like, oh yeah, like George is trying to become a pilot, he's trying to go to the Air Force. And I'm like wow, like it feels like like I feel like they're really proud of me, like trying to pursue.
Personally, I don't know how deep you want to get to. Do you think that's a dangerous game?
What game?
That game's like
trying to please your parents.
Oh yeah. Well, see, that's where I was kind of going at it, but like
I feel like everybody kind of goes through that stage.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to talk to about it because it's uncomfortable. Because you kind of put your parents out on the.
See, no.
But it's like it's uncomfortable, but it's real.
It is real, and like a lot of people, I didn't really. No, like I did deal with a lot of it, and so I had like people coming over to the house, and they'll say like, oh yeah, he's trying to become a pilot, blah blah blah, and then I remember I had an uncle come over. He's like, why are you trying to go to the Air Force? I'm like, I don't know, like, because the Air Force, they have pilots. That's where I'm trying to get at, like. And he's like, no, like, just go to school, avoid the military, and just take the civilian way and just, study and become a commercial pilot. And so, like, that got me thinking. I'm like, like, that's not a bad idea. So I started, looking into it, and I found Ames Community College, and they have pretty badass program. So I kind of, my senior year is like, what, like, this is what I'm gonna do. I told my parents, and my parents were like, okay, like, wow, like, you're gonna become a pilot. And then my sister's like, oh yeah, you could give us like low flights to Vegas, and like everyone's like all excited about it.
Private jet and all this.
Right. So like, yeah, everything, like, oh yeah, and then and my uncle's like, oh yeah, when I win the lottery, like you'll be my pilot. And I'm like, whatever, like,
fuck yeah, just like,
like everyone was like, oh yeah, so like excited, whatever. So that's what made my decision my senior year, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna become a pilot. After high school, towards my second semester of high school, I'm like, I want to take a year off, like really find out what I really want to do. And I remember my sister and my mom, like, well, my sister mainly, and I hope she doesn't watch this because I'm gonna put her, I guess, on the spot. But my sister's like, no, like if you take a year off, you're never gonna go back to college.
That's kind of true though.
It is true.
A lot of people don't.
To a certain extent.
No, and it is true because I took a year off and I'm not thinking about going to college. But no, it is true. But at that point, like, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I really wanted to do. And that's like, I feel like 90% of high schoolers deal with that. And like, whether they know it or not, like a lot of people do what their parents want. Like they end up doing what their parents want them to do, whether they know it or not. And I didn't know it. Like I seriously thought, I deeply in my mind thought I wanted to become a commercial pilot. But like, like I started thinking about it. It's like, like, is this really what I want to do? And like retire at 65 and do this. And and like work, going to work, and like just I didn't really, I kind of like stepped back and really like had to figure out who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do.
Do you remember the moment like in your life like that just happened, that like what were you doing, or what made you realize this? Because most of the people, they'll realize this when they're already 40 years old.
Yeah, when it's way too late.
Like what made you like, because maybe some stuff like this can help someone in the audience, listen to it,
like, I guess what really helped me out, the drives from Morgan to Greeley or to Fort Collins, those lonely drives. Those lonely drives where you just they're thinking like, why am I doing this? And like,
so you did start going.
Yeah, so I did. So after high school, I went to, because they didn't let me take a year off. So I applied to college and I started doing that, and I did it for like a year. No, I did it for like 2 years.
But those lonely drives were.
And at first it was cool, dude. At first it was cool because I started flying, or I started doing these classes. I'm like all interested. Like, I mean, who's not gonna be interested in flying?
Yeah, exactly.
And I would tell my parents like, oh yeah, like today I flew like solo, and they're like, oh really? Like, that's so cool. And like they'll show off and like they'll be proud, and like I was like, that I'll get a little bit of satisfaction, and that will kind of keep me going. That was like my motivation. And then when it started getting tough, I'm like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. I got my private pilot license like in 2 years. So
you did get a license then?
I did get a license because I wanted to quit.
So you can go jump on a plane right now and go.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can.
Let's roll.
Let's go right now. Let's put this on pause and we'll be right back. But no, yeah, I did get my private pilot license. But I wanted to quit. It took me 2.5 years maybe, when it usually takes like maybe 8 to 12 months to take your private pilot.
So it took you a little longer?
Oh yeah, it took me way longer. But that's because I was working and going to school. So I was working full time and I was going to school full time. So I was still living here in Morgan, and I was working at a Cargill because I didn't have money to pay it all. It was like 18 grand that I had to pay for college just for the first year, just to get my private pilot license. So I had to come up with the money. So I started working at Cargill. So I would go in at 3 p.m. and then I would leave at 11 at night, sometimes 1, and sometimes even 3 in the morning. And that was from Monday to Saturday, sometimes even Sunday. So it was almost
all the fucking time.
Yeah, it was all the time. And then after that, so then I would get home like at 12 and then try to get some sleep, and I'll wake up at 6. Get to Greeley at 7:30. And start flying at 8:30, and that's when like I had double blocks, so it was like 8:30 to like 12:30, and then come back home, get home like at 1:30, maybe eat something, talk to my parents here and there, and then by 2:30 start getting ready for work, and 3 be at work.
So it was fucking brutal.
It was, yeah, it was. And like it wasn't like that every day. It was like maybe like the hardest days was Monday and Wednesday, if I remember correctly. Tuesday and Thursday it was like probably like a single block. Friday was I don't think I had classes or flights or whatever. And then Saturdays I would just go to work. But that was, slowly it just wore me out. So that was kind of the process I was taking. And then that with the drives, like, because driving to Greeley there and back was tiring, and then flying, and then and the reason I struggled so much on my flights, or why it took me 2.5 years, is because I didn't have time to like study. Because whatever, like, they'll tell me like, oh yeah, study up on this and then we'll work on it tomorrow. I
didn't have fucking time.
I didn't have time. I had time to sleep, and I had like 5 hours of sleep, and then go in the next day to fly, and then they're all like, are you okay? I'm like, well, they didn't tell me I was okay, but like they told me like I need you to
be more focused.
Yeah, yeah. But I was like tired. I was like
trying.
Yeah, like driving there, I'm like, oh, I need to wake up. I need like, I stayed away from energy drinks. I stayed away from like anything bad. But like, I would drink water so that way like I could stay like hydrated, and because if I had to go pee, that would like
keep you up.
Yeah, they'll keep me up. And so like, oh, I need to go pee. So I'll be like, like kind of like jittery. That was my method of like staying awake on my drives home or there. So, but I mean, eventually 2.5 years, I ended up getting my private pilot license, and oh man, it was hard. It was probably like the worst 2.5 years.
They're pretty.
Like
it was rough. Then,
yeah. Like it was rough. I remember breaking down. Like I would come home like from flights or whatever, and then like there was like two years in, and it was probably the deepest, like the most darkest like place I was ever in. I came home, and then I was just eating. Like I don't know what I was eating, but it was. And my mom's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like yeah, like I'm okay. And I continued eating. And she's like, no, like, are you serious? Like, are you okay? I was like, yeah. And I looked up to her, and then just like when I saw her eyes, was like it just hit me, and I just like broke down. Like I started bawling, like, and like it just came up. Like it's like I was not expecting it, and it's just like, but I guess like her worried face like set it off. But like I just like bawled, and it was like the weirdest thing ever. And it's like, you're like, I don't see you like good. I'm like, no, like I'm good. I'm over here like trying to like, dry out my tears and everything. Like, no, I'm good. It's like, she's like, no, like you're not, like you're really not. And that's when I started looking at it, like starting like seeing like why, like it was weird. But I was at that point, those 2.5 years, on top of the stress from school and work, I got pretty deep into depression.
You think that had something to do with it? Like the school, the whole being
too much
so
of a work
stressed,
I think so.
and everything.
No, yeah, definitely. Because
I mean, you didn't have time. I'm guessing you didn't really have time to be like just hang out with friends, or someone to talk to, because you're always busy,
Yeah, and like when I would hang out with friends, like I'll talk to them and like kind of like like relieve myself, like, or kind of feel better. But that only did it, like that only helped so much.
It was
and
still
like
there.
And like it was mostly stress, but like because afterwards I got my private pilot license, and then I started seeing a counselor. It was like
from their school there, or from
like it was after like
okay.
So I finished school, got my private pilot license, and then let's see, I think it was that same year. So I got my private pilot license 2020 of January, and then like March of 2020. So this what, like a year ago?
About a year ago.
Yeah, a little over a year ago. Okay.
And I started seeing this counselor, and she's like started helping me out and all this, and she's like, I mean, she did help me out a lot, and she asked me questions. I'm like, well, the main one, she's like, do you want to be a pilot? And I'm like, yeah, like I want to become a pilot. Like, I'm already this far.
I already went through all this.
Yeah, I'm already this far in. Like, yeah, like this is what I want to do. She's like, okay, and she would just leave it at that. I'm like, and she'll ask
just
again.
Leave like the open door, huh?
Yeah. And then she'll ask again. I'm like, do you really want to become a pilot? I'm like, yeah, like whatever. Like I went through like maybe 9 or 10 sessions with her, and then she's all like, it's like, why do you want to become a pilot? And like, and I think that's when I found out how like why I didn't want to become a pilot is because like she would like put like these seeds in my head, or like these thoughts in my head, and like they would just like blow up. Like I'll be driving back from Greeley or Fort Collins, and that's when I'll be like, why would she keep asking me? Why she like I would keep asking myself whatever she asked, and then like so why do I want to become a pilot? And honestly, the best answer I could come up with, I was like, because it's cool. That's the only reason. I'm like, oh yeah, it'll be cool.
Driving a big ass plane, yeah.
Yeah, and then like, and I'm like, okay, so why would it be cool? I was like, oh, because I could, tell people, like my parents think it's cool, like they're proud of it. I'm like, am I here to be cool for my parents? Am I here to impress my parents, or am I really wanting to do something that makes me happy? And that was a question where I'm like, I need to do something that makes me happy. And me becoming a commercial pilot, was not it. And that's when I realized I'm like no, this is not what I want to do. This is not what it's not the route for me to go for me to be happy. And so at that point I started talking to my counselor. I was like, all right, it's like, what do I need to do for me to be to a state of happiness, or for me to be like proud of the person I am? And like that's so like the depression I was in was mostly like finding out who I was, and I feel like a lot of people struggle with that, like trying to find out who truly the type of person they are.
And have you found, like, you don't have to like answer it like publicly, but like, have you found who you are, or is it still?
I'm working on it. Like I feel
it's a constant thing. You're always finding new stuff about yourself. Like,
yeah, I mean it's a hard question to answer, and it's a hard question to even figure out. But I do feel like I'm a lot closer to where I was at, before. Like I still question. I still have doubt myself here and there. Like is this the same thing? What I went through 2 years ago. Like, do I really want to do this, or do I really want to go through with this? But like, I get more knowing what I know now. I feel like I'm more like cognitive of like the things I do. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, like I feel like this is whatever I'm doing is like I'm happier. I feel like there's a lot less weight on my shoulders. Like, I mean, I'm still like stressing, but I feel like it's good stress. Like, I feel like with anything new that you can come up with, or whatever goal that you set, there's stress that comes with it. So I mean, I do feel like where I'm at right now, or the route I'm taking, is the route for me to take.
Like how you were saying earlier, like how like a lot of people like graduating high school and coming out of high school struggle with like finding out what they want to do for the rest of their life, or like even like being like, or knowing like who they are.
Yeah,
that's like the biggest thing, because like I kind of like struggle with that too. Like in high school, I was like, fuck it, I'm a football player, I'm an athlete. That's what I fucking like lived on, even though I wasn't that fucking good. But like I used like my college years to kind of like figure out who I was, and kind of like experiment with that. But I mean, I think part of I don't know if it's like a problem, but it's like you're like in high school and you're like the big dog on campus, and then you graduate and you're out into the real world and you're like a little fish in a pond.
Yep. For all those people that just graduated high school, you just barely finished the easy shit in life.
That's the easy part.
That's the easy shit.
They were stressing about high school, and life hits you.
Get ready to real fucking stress.
You're stressing about high school, man.
Yeah, I wish I was stressing about high school. High school was cake, dude. You come out to the real world, and
pre-calc was cake with crack.
I think I failed. Oh no, I didn't fail. I didn't fail pre-calc, but I almost did. But yeah, high school, I mean, you got to worry about what? Homework?
You don't have to do the homework you'll still
end up passing. The high school we went to, like, people graduated just doing the bare minimum, like.
I'm one of them.
Showing up past the time and still fucking like.
But see, I kind of want to go back to kind of what Erick said on that. You kind of go, when he was in high school, you kind of find yourself like the athlete. One of the toughest questions, try it with somebody, with anybody, like your peers, your people around you. Ask somebody who they are without them putting what they do for a living in that.
Yeah.
What are you? Oh, I'm a technician for this company over here. What are you? Oh, I do this. No,
I'm a doctor.
I asked who the fuck you are. I didn't ask what you're doing for a living.
Yeah.
So see, that's the thing. People don't know who they are. They don't know how to describe themselves.
Exactly.
They let a title describe who they are instead of them describing who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
and that's like, you doubt. Like, I think that's awesome. Like, you have to doubt yourself. I doubt myself all the time. If you don't doubt yourself, you can't believe everything your mind tells you.
No.
Because your mind tells you some fucked up shit sometimes.
Yeah.
Your mind's the most powerful tool you have.
Like, my mind told me I could be an NFL player. Like you go out there and like, but then you start realizing like, come on, dude.
That shit takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it does.
Let's be real.
Yeah. Let's be
Love
real.
you, Tom Brady, pedal. Let's be real.
Yeah. So like that's the biggest question is finding out who you are. I feel like a lot of people struggle with that, and I mean, first step is asking yourself who you really are, and maybe like starting basic. Like with me, like if someone told me like, who are you? I'm like, well, first off, like I'm a brother to, you know, like to my siblings. I'm a son to my parents. I'm an uncle to my nieces, you know, it's like stuff like that. I'm a friend. I'm a good friend to a lot of people. You know, and then from there, just kind of keep going and see where you end up. If you answer that question and it's like a negative way, then that's something to fix. You know, that's something to fix in your life. Like say, oh, I'm not a good father, or like, oh, I'm not a good role model to my siblings. You know, that's, you know, figure out why, and that's something to fix.
I feel like one thing that might help with that is just taking some time to yourself. Like, you don't have to like go take a trip to wherever to go isolate yourself, but like even just going to the park and just going to like the nature trail or something, just taking a short walk and just
and I mean all that
being
helps.
real with yourself. Yeah,
and you do have to be real with yourself. A lot of people lie to themselves without them even knowing.
That's the hardest thing.
That's what I did.
The most dangerous thing.
Yeah, like you could lie to anyone else, but if you lie to yourself, you're
person in the mirror. Yeah, you can't lie to that person.
Yeah, like and that's one of the things that really I struggled with. I remember in those 2 years I couldn't even look myself in the mirror because I was just like, I just didn't like who I was. I didn't. I mean, like I said, I was deep in depression, and the reason why I didn't like myself is because I did hurt a lot of people. Like I didn't. I wasn't like I wasn't the person I wanted to be. At that time, I was like in a relationship, kinda, and like it was just like toxic. It was a toxic relationship, and it was like nothing on her part. And I'm not gonna say any names or anything, but like I did make her go through like hell, kind of, because like she would help me out, like, you know, she would like want to hang out, but she didn't really understand what I was kind of going through, because I didn't even know what I was going through.
Sometimes you just like there you're talking, she doesn't know who you're going through. You just want to talk to somebody, you know.
Yeah. And see, and
how's your day, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know, what's going on.
And see, for me to like really like feel something, or, you know, try to, you know, like feel like I'm getting better, is talking, and she wasn't like very, like, I guess, talkative, and I guess she just didn't really understand what I was going through. And like with my friends, like I felt like I could be more open. Yeah. And I remember like in the discussion, like, oh, you like rather hang out with your friends than with me. And like, I'm like, and it was just like toxic, you know, like at that point I was like, it was just really like bad. And it's like, but like the reason why I would go with my friends is because like I would open up and like tell them like, hey, like this is what I feel, like I don't know how, you know, what to do, or like, you know, like they will,
because they had a little bit more like I guess like empathy, like a little more, they listen to you. That's kind of the thing.
So they like know you a little bit more.
Yeah, and I guess they knew me a little bit more, and they were, I guess, easier to talk to. They understood a little bit more. But like that's one of the things, like if you're going through something and you don't know what it is, it might be depression, it might be anxiety, whatever, like seek help, because I mean you don't know who you're hurting.
That was awesome. I mean, that you were able to, like, I mean, you had your counselor, but you're able to realize it, like, so at a young age, you know, before it really starts getting bad. Because I mean, especially through all the stuff that, like, the COVID stuff that just went by, people really got bad. Yeah, because they're in isolation. You have no one to talk to, and you're just seeing everyone's fake life on social media. Yeah, and you think like, why do I not have that life? But that person posting those things, they probably have a bad life themselves. Yeah, they're just putting it up for the gram, you know.
Being real with themselves.
But that's a good thing too, that you were saying you couldn't look yourself, like you say, you couldn't look yourself in the mirror, and that's the person you can't lie to. Like, I challenge anybody, listen to this, or you guys, like, look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how much of a badass you really are. Do it. And I fucking guarantee you can't do it without fucking tearing up. I fucking guarantee it.
Yeah. Like, no, like
if you're real with yourself, you're going to fucking stand there. You're going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like, there was a vision I always had in my head where I'll be, like, just staring into, like, the mirror. And then, like, just, like, I just wanted to punch it. Like, I was so, like...
You felt trapped. Like,
yeah, exactly. I just wanted... Like, I hated the person that, like, I was seeing. And I mean, the reason why is because it's not who I wanted to be. And I pushed out a lot of people that, you know, that were good. But, I mean... eventually I got help, but there's some relationships you burn bridges, and sometimes you can't go back.
One of the best phrases, I was just telling Eric earlier when we were here. Do you know Tony Robbins? Do you listen to Tony Robbins?
Tony Robbins? No.
Well, you should listen to him. He has some pretty good shit, but he talks about it. The easiest way to take over the island is to burn the fucking boats. Because if you go, it's like you show up to the boats to the island. You leave the islands on shore, you know. If you can't take over the island, just jump on my boat and go back. You burn the fucking boats, you ain't going back. Yeah. There's no way to, you know.
It forces you to keep pushing forward.
It forces you to keep pushing forward, and sometimes that's good. Sometimes you just need it. Like, I just kind of see like how your situation was, and I mean, you just kind of had you lost some relationships, but like you just needed like focus on you, I guess.
Yeah. I did have to focus on me, and I mean, yeah, some negative things came about it, but can't go back. Like, I'm in this island, I gotta survive. Yeah, you know, like, and I mean, like,
it's like it's a metaphor. Yeah. Like, don't take it too fucking literal. Anyone listening.
But yeah, I mean, that's the best advice I could give someone, anyone listening. If someone's going through something, and I mean, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are going through something, whether work related, life related. But as long as it's under control, then, you know, like, and I mean, I feel like a majority of people do have anxiety, do have depression, like with today's society. But I guess there's like levels to it. So like, you might not be that deep in it, but like, whether you're, you know, really deep in it or like, you know, just barely getting into it, just seek help. Like they get paid for that, for you, you know, for them.
Yeah, they're professionals. They help you in that area.
Or even if you like can't afford something, just talk to a friend, talk to your parents, talk to your siblings, or just talk to someone.
Because I mean, the last thing you want to do is I was never suicidal, like I was never, you know, like trying to hurt myself or, you know, anything like that. And thank God, I know some people do struggle a lot with that. The only thing I did, it's probably gonna be some weird, like deep shit, but the only thing I did think. And like it's pretty dark. On my way back from like Greeley or Fort Collins, I was just like so overwhelmed. Like I just wanted a break, right? I just wanted to be like, and not to explain why I wanted to take a break. I was like, what if I just, you know, just go off the road and just like, you know, like kind of like break an arm or break a leg. I'll be in the hospital for a few days and like take a break, you know, like.
Just so you don't have to keep doing it, yeah.
Yeah, and don't have to find an excuse on like why I'm taking that break, you know, like, cause my mindset was pretty fucked up at the time, but like my mindset was like, oh, if I break a leg, I don't have to do school, you know, like for like a month or whatever, and I could just relax.
Yeah, just take a break from everything.
Yeah. That's as far as I went with it, like you know, like as like, you know, creating harm. I just thought about it, but like. Me thinking that's when I like seriously started thinking I'm not okay, you know, like I'm not this is not okay. Like me thinking that and me like really contemplating that, like I was like, okay, I need help. Like I need to do something about this because it's not normal, you know, like who thinks like that, who like. So that's what
a lot of people. It's just that nobody opens up about it, you know.
Yeah. So like that was the first sign. I'm like, okay, like this is this is probably depression, this is anxiety, whatever, but I need to get some help. Because I didn't really believe in depression. Like, okay, wait, I take that back. It's like, I didn't really believe I could get into depression.
You're just like, you just see it, like you hear about it, you're like, yeah. Well, you just kind of
they're like weak-minded people or something.
I believe people can get it like pretty bad. Like I do believe depression happens to, you know, people. I just didn't think it could happen to me. You know, like, and it's like,
just creeps up.
It does. And because I was saying, like, it's like, what do I have to be sad about? Like my parents, like they have a happy marriage. I have siblings that are great. I mean, like they support me like as best as they can. I have good friends. You know, like I'm doing good in school. I was good at sports. Like, what do I have to be depressed about? And so like I didn't really like nah, it's whatever. Like, but then that's the first sign that I was like, okay, like maybe I do need, like, I need to get help. Another reason, probably one of the biggest ones was a friend committed suicide last year, and he's like one of those uplifting, funniest, goofy guys. And I was like, if that could happen, if someone like that could really go through it, it really opened up my mind. I'm like, you know, the depression
can happen to anyone. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's what really opened up my mind. I'm like, oh, like this guy, like who would have thought? Like who would have thought this guy would actually like was really deep in that? And like, I was like, oh, you know what? Like this is, it was a real eye opener. And that's that. I went to his funeral. And it was sad. I mean, any funeral was sad. But that same day I went to his funeral, I had my first counseling session.
So like, is that, you think, kind of what pushed you to kind of go?
Yeah, that really, I think that was like the final push. I was like, you know what, like, depression is no joke. Like, it's not like something like that you'll get over. That's not gonna go away. If anything, it's just gonna get worse. So, like I said, wherever you're at, if you're really deep in it or whatever, don't let it get worse. Don't let it. And try to better yourself. You know, like if that's seeking help, then do it.
Yeah. Well, we feel. Sorry about your friend. You know.
Yeah.
We feel sorry about that from us.
Yeah,
but it's like too, like, well, person like us, just like hearing your story, like in a sense we're like to a level, like we're proud of you that you're able to do that, seek help. Like you put your pretty much your life on pause and kind of analyze it a little bit, and then did a big turn, you know.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that's big. Kind of going with that, what other stuff did you start doing? Did you start kind of like personal development stuff, you know, trying to kind of go down a different route, like a better route? Or how did that start going?
Yeah, that was like kind of after the counseling sessions. Like she'll tell me like what have you done to like help yourself? Because you got to do your part too. You can't just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to counseling sessions and
that's it.
Everything's gonna get fixed. It's gonna get fixed. It's not really like that. She'll ask you questions. She'll tell you things about yourself, but you also got to do your part. She'll be like, it's like, maybe like, do you enjoy going to the gym? I was like, yeah, like I did, like in high school, but like not anymore. Like she's like, you know, she'll tell me like, okay, like why in high school you did and why, you know, before you enjoyed it and now you don't. And I guess like back then it was because of the sports, you know, like whatever, like I was competing in track and football. So like that was my motivation to go to the gym. And now going to the gym is like, for what? You know, like why am I going to go?
Why?
But like she told me like, okay, like exercise does help the brain. It does, you know, release endorphins. So she explained that part. And I started going and started running. And it did help. Like exercise does help. It puts your mind at ease. It, you know, distracts you. And she'll tell me like what, like even like some like small exercises where you're looking at yourself in the mirror and I'm like, oh, like I like what you did today, or I like what just compliments, whatever it was. I was like, oh, good job cleaning your bed, or cleaning your room, making your bed. Just like stuff like that, like little compliments.
Little tasks, yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, like the little things go far.
So it's the compounds, the consistency. Like you start doing one thing, you're like, oh, it feels pretty good, you know. Like I just did it, and you keep going.
Yeah, and like I remember going to the sessions, and like I just thought like after going there, like the weight off my shoulders was gonna be lifted like instantly, and it's not. It's a process, and now like I feel like I don't slowly, but it did the weight off my shoulders, the stress, the depression. I was like, wow, like this is
it's pretty much, it just goes, it's a lifestyle, you know.
Yeah, like
trying to better yourself every day.
Yeah, like there's, I don't know when I felt it, like was like, okay, yeah, I'm in a lot better state. I'm like, I feel good. Like I feel happy. I don't know when it was, but I remember like, or when it's slowly, like it's slowly just how depression creeps up on you, like being happy or whatever, being, you know, not depressed, whatever, it kind of creeps up the same way. But I mean, it was a good feeling. It really was.
You're talking about like that, like making it a lifestyle thing, like, cause like, well, like especially like with working out and stuff, like in high school or middle school, you're always working out to get better for the next season and stuff. But like after that ends, you're like, what do I need to hit the gym for or whatever?
Now what, huh?
And then that's, people fall into that trap, and then I don't know, like it happened to me, like gained like a little bit of weight and shit. And then, but it's just like about turning everything you're doing into a lifestyle, not like just gonna do it for a certain amount of time and then stop.
Yeah.
But just like continuing it and continue to get better.
So yeah, I still struggle to go to the gym. But when I do go, like I don't regret going, you know, like I feel good afterwards.
The hardest part is just getting there.
Yeah, showing up is, once you show up, like I'll do my lifts, I'll do whatever. But like with me, like right now, like I kind of like, I'm working like on my house, or I'm working on, you know, reps, or I'm at work. So I kind of do have like a full plate, and then just me going to the gym, like I just, like I'm pretty tired at the end of the day. But then again, that's no excuse. Like I could still go, like I can make time for it. I could, you know, go. I just right now, like yeah, I am struggling with it. I'm not gonna be, you know, I'm not gonna come up here. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have time, or like, oh, like I'm just too overwhelmed, or like, no, like I'm not, like
it's not a priority right now.
Yeah, exactly. But like, when I do have like a rough day, I do go and, you know, blow off steam or whatever, and it does help. So whatever helps, go out and do it. Music helps a lot, or helps me a lot.
What kind of music do you kind of like?
Oh, anything, dude. I pretty much whatever. My music spectrum is pretty big. I mean, whatever artist you say, I probably know them, or, you know, heard something about them. So I feel like I have like various friends that like different kinds of music, and I could just like kind of vibe with each one of them.
With these friends, it's kind of like corridos, or, you know, these guys just like English rap. Or,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I like everything. So like, yeah, I think that's what really helps a lot.
Oh, that's pretty good. So do you got any final thoughts you guys have?
No, I mean, that was kind of like, we kind of touched up on high school, who you really are, depression, seeking help.
Yeah, we hit quite a bit of topics.
Yeah, the important thing is just finding who you are.
Yeah, I mean,
finding yourself.
Anything you guys want to go back on? I don't know.
Yeah, where could people find you? Do you have like for your car, for like the work you do?
So I'm
or just on your page, or
your
personal one.
My personal page, the one on Facebook. I'm gonna try and get that Facebook page up and coming here pretty soon. I have a friend doing the logo, and I mean, we're just fine tuning it at this point. Once I have that, then I'll start posting pictures of the jobs I've done before, so they could, you know, find me there. But yeah, as of like right now, just my personal page.
Cool. So I'll leave you guys with a little homework again, with the quote that I started with. I prepare so no one can take what is mine. No one can replace my mind and my heart. What are you guys doing on a daily basis so that no one can take what is yours. Thanks for being on, guys. Subscribe, follow, check George out. Make sure you follow him, check out his work. And thanks for being on, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Out of the darkness I rose up.